This savage ceremony is an affront to progress. People like me, explorers and researchers, we set out to sea in the hopes of making the world a better place. This is an insult to everything we stand for. Hello and welcome to One Piece 101, the series that breaks down everyone and everything in the One Piece world. Today, we are going to take a closer look at a figure of legend, Mont Blanc Noland. Alright, so this is a very unique 101 we have on our hands here because of how the series introduced us to the character of Noland. When we first hear of him, it's through a children's picture book, a fairy tale in fact, known commonly to the residents of the North Blue Sea. As a result of this, we are going to begin by retelling that tale. A story over 400 years ago, in a certain country in the northern seas, there was a man named Mont Blanc Noland. Noland the explorer's stories were always grand adventures that sounded like lies, but the people of the village could never tell if they were true or not. One time, Noland went on an expedition and came back to report to the king. "I saw a mountain of gold on an island across the great seas." To see for himself, the brave king took 2,000 warriors and crossed the great seas in his ship. He fought powerful storms and huge sea monsters. Finally, the king, Noland, and 100 soldiers landed on the island. But what they found there was nothing but jungle. Noland was sentenced to death for his lies. These were his last words. That's it. The mountain of gold sank into the ocean. The king and the others were shocked. Nobody believed Noland anymore, but he never stopped lying until he was dead. So the tale of Noland is essentially used by parents to teach their spawn about the dangers of lying. However, the truth of the matter is that this book is pure propaganda, and the actual story of Noland is a far greater tragedy known by very few. Despite how history remembers him, Mont Blanc Noland was an incredibly honest and caring man who had indeed lived some 400 years prior to the current timeline. He was an enthusiastic explorer and captain of his own crew who were all deeply loyal to him. Noland was also a highly skilled combatant, shown to be able to kill a sea king without any trouble whatsoever. However, his greatest skill and passion would lie in the art of botany. Noland and his crew all hailed from the Louvnil Kingdom in North Blue, a place I have great difficulty pronouncing due to the fact that it uses a V as a U, and over the course of their time together they made 3 journeys into the Grand Line, proving their exceptional worth as sailors. During their 3rd journey, Noland and his crew were caught in a storm, however they were able to find their way to safety by following the distant ringing of a bell. It should be noted that it was only Noland who was able to hear this ringing, and the rest of his crew briefly thought that he was mad. However, Noland's senses proved accurate and his crew landed on the island of Jaya. Almost immediately upon arrival, they discovered a native inhabitant of the Shandian tribe suffering from a disease known as tree fever, a condition that Noland possessed the knowledge to cure. As Noland made his way further into the village, he found himself stopping a sacrificial ceremony being performed by the inhabitants. It should be noted that he did this by killing a giant snake thought of as god by the entire village, which highly angered a great warrior of the Shandian tribe known as Kalgara. Noland pleaded with the tribe to allow him to cure their disease rather than wasting the life of a young girl, and while Kalgara was prepared to kill him at this moment, the chief of the Shandian tribe saw how earnest Noland's words were and gave him until the next morning to complete his task. And so Noland set out to find a certain tree which produced the only known cure for tree fever. He was soon able to find what he was looking for, however on his way back to the village a sudden earthquake trapped him. Believing that this earthquake was retribution of the gods, Kalgara set out to find and kill Noland. After being initially mocked, Noland was able to convince Kalgara that the illness plaguing the village was not a curse from God, prompting Kalgara to kill another snake that was about to eat Noland, known as the Child of God. After being saved by Kalgara, Noland was able to successfully cure the tribe of their illness, and both he and his crew lived amongst them for quite some time. During this period, Noland developed a deep friendship with Kalgara, who at one point even suggested that Noland marry his daughter Moose. Although Noland did politely refuse this, as he had a wife and child waiting for him back home in North Blue. Noland and his crew were also introduced to the golden city of Shandora and told that they could take as much treasure as they wished as a reward for saving the lives of the villagers. During his time with the Shandian tribe, Noland had also discovered a certain area of trees that were responsible for generating the disease that the tribe had been suffering from. To help the village, he ordered his crew to chop these trees down, however unbeknownst to them, these trees were sacred to the Shandian tribe, who took great offense at this action and ordered Noland to leave. However, just as they were departing from the island, Noland and his crew were greeted by a Calgara who had learned the truth of the matter from his daughter. Deeply regretting his actions, Calgara shouted out to Noland, pleading with him to return to the island one day. Upon Noland's return to his home of Livneal in North Blue, he told the king about his adventures, most notably that he had travelled to an entire city made of gold. The king then ordered Noland to take him personally to the City of Gold, but also insisted on using his own men instead of Noland's crew. Despite the king's men lacking sailing experience, they did eventually make it to the island of Jaya. However, they then made a shocking discovery. With the exception of half a small house, there was no sign of the Shandian people. The villages, the City of Gold, and a huge part of the island itself had completely disappeared. The king was absolutely livid, believing that Noland had purposely led him astray. He proceeded to shoot Noland in the back and sentence him to death. To assist the king's case, he even had false witnesses testify, claiming to be part of Noland's crew. And in stark contrast to his final grinning image in the storybook, Noland broke down and wept on the execution platform, not out of concern for his own life, but out of concern for the Shandian people and his close friend Calgara. Noland was then executed, never learning the truth of what had happened to the Shandian people. Some more fun facts about Noland. Despite the large majority of the world believing that Noland was a liar, he does have a positive legacy in at least one part of the world. The dwarves of the Tontada Kingdom revere Noland as a great hero for his actions while visiting their island 400 years ago, and to this day there is a statue standing in his honor. Noland's character may be based on the real-life explorer Francisco de Orellana, a Spanish explorer who had claimed to discover the golden city of El Dorado while sailing along the Amazon River. And finally, a truly useless fact. Amongst any other, arguably more amazing feats, Noland was responsible for introducing pumpkins to the Shandian people, who would go on to treat them as a sacred vegetable. And that pretty much does it for Noland. However, this is far from the complete story. In order to get the full picture, we are going to need to examine 3 other figures in the One Piece world, so I hope you all look forward to that. If you enjoyed this video, then feel free to like, favorite, or subscribe, and please do comment with your thoughts on Noland. This has been the Grand Line Review, and I'll see you next time.